Hi, my name is Dane Newville. I'm a pharmacist here at MD Custom Rx Pharmacy. In today's video, we're going to discuss the relationship of methylene blue and nitric oxide. What kind of relationship do they have? Does it inhibit nitric oxide? Well, the truth is it's not that black and white. But by the end of this video, you're going to have a very clear understanding of the relationship between methylene blue and nitric oxide, why it can help save people from septic shock and runaway blood pressure, but also why your blood pressure doesn't go through the roof to any significant degree while taking low doses of it. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get into it. So I think a good way to approach this topic first and foremost is to kind of go over some quotes from a few different articles, the literature that's out there. Let's see what the consensus is right now, because I don't think it's crystal clear. So the first one is from an article in International Anesthesia Research Society published, and this will be the oldest article I reference, published in 2016, stating, and this is quoting, "The vasoconstrictive effect of methylene blue occurs only during cases of nitric oxide upregulation, and thus increases in blood pressure are not seen when methylene blue is given as a dye during straightforward procedures in non-vasoplagic patients." Vasoplasia is when you lose systemic vascular resistance, so your vasculature loses its tone, gets really wide in diameter, your heart pumps harder to try to keep up to not lose blood pressure, it can be fatal. So that's important, obviously, non-vasoplagic patients. Further in the article, it states, in quote, "MB directly inhibits nitric oxide synthase." What they're referring to in that one, though, is the upregulation, referring to inducible nitric oxide. So that is from 2016, International Anesthesia Research Society. Our next one, how nitric oxide leads to hypotension or vasodilation. One of the things to know, though, is vascular tone isn't just regulated by nitric oxide. So I think we get a lot of comments about, does methylene blue inhibit nitric oxide, with the implication like, oh man, it's going to lead to hypertension. It's going to actually be bad for you. And it's limiting nitric oxide and all the benefits of nitric oxide are gone. So we'll address that too. But at least you can see here, nitric oxide's role leading to vasodilation, but where methylene blue, according to this article, is actually blocking things. Finally, the most recent article I'll be referring to in this video is actually from this year, 2024, article number 46 out of the Critical Care Journal, again from BMC Biomed Central. This one, in quotes, "Methylene blue has a slightly different profile, as it is an inhibitor of soluble guanylate cyclase enzyme, SGC, whose activation is important in the nitric oxide signaling pathway. SGC catalyzes the production of CGMP in response to nitric oxide, and CGMP produces vasorelaxation and inhibits proliferation of vascular smooth cells. Blocking SGC with MB can therefore counteract the hemodynamic effects of nitric oxide." I want to take or break down this nitric oxide synthase and what they're talking about in those literatures I just spoke of, or in the articles I spoke of. There are three essential pathways in the body to produce nitric oxide. Two of them are calcium-dependent channels. Those are endothelial nitric oxide synthase. Synthase is an enzymatic pathway, the ACE piece of that word, synthase, enzymatic pathway. So there's endothelial nitric oxide synthase, there is the neuronal nitric oxide synthase, and then there's inducible nitric oxide synthase. The two calcium-dependent ones are endothelial and neuronal. Unfortunately, I apologize, I wasn't able to find mechanistically why methylene blue is inhibiting the calcium-insensitive one, the inducible nitric oxide synthase, versus the endothelial and the neuronal nitric oxide pathways. But there's still more that we can take even without the mechanisms there. And even the implication of like two of them are calcium dependent, one isn't, likely has some place in this. But it's important to understand those are the three pathways. Also important to understand in terms of vasodilation, which is the endothelial nitric oxide synthase pathway, that's not the only route to create vasodilation. The renin angiotensin aldosterone system, also known as RAAS, is a functional piece that creates natriuretic peptides, or I shouldn't say creates it, but we uses natriuretic peptides to also create vasodilation and regulates vascular tone. And this is completely outside of nitric oxide as a whole. It doesn't even use SGC, which methylene blue in the literature has the most common ground for saying it's an inhibitor of, okay? So that's one of the reasons you can still have your basal normal vasodilatory or vascular tone while taking low-dose methylene blue.
Are you ready to learn the truth about healthcare, Dane?